We've got some exciting news. Ryan and I, this kid over here, he and I are getting married. Okay. I really hope that you will join us along this wonderful adventure of wedding planning bliss. And, we'll just see what happens. I think it'll be good. Anyways, but he talked to my dad and popped the question. That's a good story. Should I tell that story?
You should tell that story.
How he proposed. Everybody loves a good proposal story. So, it was January 17th. It was a Friday. And, well, first I'm just gonna start with the fact that I hadn't heard from Ryan all day, which was weird. So I texted him like kind of late afternoon and I was like, how you doing? And he's like, good, I'm excited for you to get off work. And I was thinking, hey, it's the weekend, I'm really excited too. Little did I know there was like a legitimate reason that he was excited for me to get off work, because I went out to my car and there on the hood of my car was a present and there were roses and then a little card that just said, I think it said, just open it. And that was all. And so I opened the card and I opened the present, and inside were a bunch of, what do you call those things? Manila envelopes.
Mm-hmm.
And they were numbered, so I had to go sequentially through the envelopes, and I couldn't open the next envelope until I got to the destination that was mentioned in the previous envelope. And then there was a GPS in there, and there were peanut butter M&Ms for my journey, as he called it.
She really likes peanut butter
love
M&Ms.
peanut butter M&Ms. They're like,
every time we go to the movie, she has to get her peanut butter M&Ms.
yeah, so good. Who doesn't like peanut butter and chocolate? Anyways, and there was a pair of gloves in there as well. Right? GPS, yes. Peanut butter M&Ms, gloves, and then the envelopes. And inside the envelopes were a bunch of instructions telling me that I had to go to these certain locations. And the GPS was there because he had pre-programmed all the destinations into the GPS, so I could just plug that in and it would tell me where to go. So I plugged it in and I went on my merry old way. And it took me, because you weren't in the car with me.
I wasn't there.
That would have been weird. It took me to a field behind a church building where he and Ashley and I, in the summer, we spent a lot of nights stargazing till like 1 o'clock in the morning. And we just kind of, I guess it was meaningful just because we got to know each other a lot better there. We got to be really goofy. I feel like that's kind of where we let out our goofy sides, and we just discovered that we were very similar in that regard. We do accents a lot. We would do that a lot while we were laying there in the field looking at the stars. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. Anyway, so I got to that location, and out in the middle of the field there was a rose with a note, and he had just explained why he thought the location was meaningful as well. And that was like my favorite part of the whole proposal thing, because it was just really, it was fun to see that he had been feeling kind of the same way that I had been feeling throughout the whole summer, just about things and what we thought was meaningful and all that stuff. So then I went back to the car and I opened the next one, and it took me to another location, which was a park where we had our first unofficial date, where we played games and listened to music and stuff. And then the third one was the movie theater, which is where we had our first official date. And then the fourth one was the post office, which I was really confused, and like, we never did anything at the post office, but then he was very clever and mentioned how it symbolized the long distance portion of our relationship, which was really cool, because I think that's really kind of when we got to know each other really well and figured out that, you know, we really liked each other a lot.
It's amazing what being away from someone will do, and instead of hanging out all the time, you're just talking and getting to know each other, and so yeah, that definitely played a key role in our dating.
Yeah. The fifth place was the final place, and it's just down this little trail that's kind of behind our neighborhood, and I walked 1.3 miles. That's what the gloves were for, because it was winter, so it was kind of chilly. And actually it was really foggy that night too, and it started getting dark. I think it took longer than he was anticipating for me to get there, because I was a bit of a girl and I was gushing over all this stuff as I read it, so it took me a while. Anyways, I ended up getting there and it was dark and getting foggy, and I ended up getting a phone call from Ryan as I was halfway there, 2/3 of the way to this dock that was down at the end of the trail where he wanted me to meet him.
I was worried that
And he was, yeah.
she was off in the dark in some trail where it's probably, I don't know, it's kind of sketchy. So I was just kind of worried. I was just like, where the heck is she? Did someone pick her up and take her away? Or
So he called me to make sure I was alive. And I was. And I was really excited. And I got down to this dock where he had told me to meet him. And,
you
didn't tell me to meet me either. He just told me I should go to the dock because
Yeah.
you weren't there.
I didn't say anything about me being there.
Yeah, no. I mean, I just figured that would be.
She figured it out.
I kind of figured it out as I was going along. That's the other thing too. I just had no idea that you were proposing, so it was a complete surprise, which was great. Anyway, distracted again. So I went to the dock, and there were roses lined along the edge of the dock. And then I walked out to the end of the dock, and there was more roses like fanned out on the end of the dock, and there was a card. There was a card there.
This whole time I'm like hiding kind of off in the bushes.
Yeah.
She's walking down this dock.
And the whole thing, like, from the get-go was, I'm going to send you on this bit of an adventure, meeting the scavenger hunt. And then in his card, he said the last note, he said something along the lines of, now's when you get to make a decision that will determine the next big adventure in your life. And so then I turned around because I heard footsteps on the dock. And Ryan was there walking towards me. Very nervous, like.
I was nervous.
Oh. And we just kind of said hello, and it was kind of a little bit awkward, I felt like, because we both kind of knew what was coming. And he got down on one knee and proposed, and asked me if I would marry him. And I said no. So
She said yes.
I said yes. And then we were engaged.
Yep.
So that's how it happened. Anyways, we hope you stay tuned, and thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Done.